Okay, so hey guys, welcome to Travel Tuesdays. Today we are going to hit up an Alberta gem, which is Lesser Slave Lake. It's about 2.5 hours north of Edmonton, so pretty easy to get there if you don't mind a lengthy-ish drive, but it's closer than Jasper. So if you've been to Jasper, it's really not any worse to get to Lesser Slave Lake.
Exactly. A lot of people, they don't think to look north. They always go east or west. Like, I know people...
Or south.
Or south. I mean, I know people who do day trips to Jasper from Edmonton, and that's almost 4 hours drive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really 2.5 hours... Yeah. Crazy person. But 2.5 hours is really nothing, and it's really, really worthwhile. It's this beautiful provincial park. Not as many people know about it. And again, like, beautiful lake. The only thing lesser about it is the name. But, you know, it's a beautiful lake. It's about 100 kilometers wide east-west, and about 30 kilometers north at its widest point. So there's a provincial park kind of perched on the northeast side of the lake, right near the community of Slave Lake. And so beautiful area, white sandy beaches. Like, I've never been to Mexico, but like, I think Mexican white sandy beaches in Canada,
It is quite a nice beach. The town of Slave Lake itself is not as bustling as it once was, because they did have a massive fire only a few years ago. Is that 2013?
Something like that.
2013?
Yeah, they've rebuilt a lot since then, but of course it's not as bustling as it once was. But still really good for supplies, you know, and it's, again, very, very close to Edmonton.
Yeah. And I forgot to introduce you at first again. Oh. So anyone who hasn't seen the Rouen video or our storytelling one, this is Lauren. I went to university with her, and we studied much history.
Much history. So
yeah, I'm having her because she is a local historian specializing in Western Canadian history.
For large part. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I thought she would be a good choice, and she's been to a lot of places around the prairies.
Mm-hmm. Particularly, I enjoy camping, and I like camping on short day trips from Edmonton or you know, short weekend trips. I can't get tons of time off during the summertime, so I find any place within like 3 or 4 hours drive of Edmonton is really a great opportunity. So I find particularly the campground at Lesser Slave Lake to be really, really amazing. It's full of really tall, like, mature trees, and which surround pretty much every single site. So every site sort of feels private. I've definitely been to campgrounds that have, like, there's like an open field and then you have your little tent perched between two massive RVs. That's not the feel of this place at all. Every single site is within walking distance of the beach because of the trees. Again, it feels more private. The sound's a little bit more muffled. You do get the constant sound of the white-throated sparrows, though, which is pretty fun. They do a song that sounds like, "Oh, sweet Canada, Canada, Canada." So you hear that a lot. It's this lovely high whistling sound. But anyway, some people, I guess, might not care for it, but I'm like, oh, the sound of the boreal forest and all, you know, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of amazing things to do there. I find it's a really great, like, 2-day trip or 3-day trip. I know some people who go and park there for 2 weeks, you know. But there's a couple hiking trails in the area, beautiful white sand dunes all throughout. I know, what do I have there? Oh, yes, and of course, lots of birds. I'm a bird nerd. That's my first love is history, but recently I've gotten really, really into bird watching, and Lesser Slave Lake is amazing for that. There's a bird observatory there. If you get up early, until I think about 10 o'clock, they do bird banding. And so, yeah, so if you want to see a couple of these birds up close, you can go watch them bird band. I think they do bird banding tours once a week, but I've never gone on the day. So I've never actually gone on their tours, but I've heard they're quite good. And they do little school programs where kids, like, toss little plastic birds into, like, mist nets and stuff. Anyway, apparently it's really cute.
Adorable.
Yeah. So they have the bird observatory, but there's also an interpretive center, and you said you've never been. It's amazing.
Well, I've only been to Slave Lake once, and it was, I think, over, like, the August long weekend, and we got, like, the last spot for camping, and so there was just a lot of, like, beach walks.
That's fair. The interpretive center is beautiful. It's about, I don't know, 5 minutes down the road by car from the campground. It's this beautiful modern building. Oddly enough, the composting toilets are great. Like, Go there for their toilets. It's a pit toilet that doesn't stink, and it's amazing, and it's good for the environment. But the actual building from the sky looks like a bird, like a geometric bird. And
That's
so, like,
cool.
yeah, it's great. And they have a really lovely set of displays in there. One year when I went, they had like a bunch of different birds' eggs and things like that, and different bird nests, and you had to guess which bird made which nest. And I don't know, they just like, and the people there are really friendly and helpful, and beautiful open windows. There's a lot of, it's a good little probably about 300-meter trail right near there that's a songbird trail. So specifically, it goes through a really good environment for songbirds. So they have, like interpretive guides and stuff like that you can, take. And I don't know, if you really are getting into bird watching, it's a really, really nice site for that. To see some unusual birds, it's a good migratory pattern. Those were, just incidentally, those were Franklin gulls. I was also taking those through my binoculars with just my regular old phone. It's called digiscoping. You learn how. You don't need a zoom lens to get some pretty cool shots. Now, what do I
have attachable ones now, where you attach like a lens set onto the back of your camera, and you can do like macro or wide angle. I just learned about them. I'm like, I need to get this.
Now I know what to ask for Christmas.
Yeah, when we went to Slave Lake, I wasn't into my birding yet, so I'm like,
you need to go again.
Yes,
we should go
in the summer.
Yes, in the spring, May.
Sure. May it is.
So here's another picture of the lovely white sandy beaches. Depending on where you are on the beach, there's more or less driftwood. You're not supposed to burn it, but a lot of people use it to start campfires on the beach and things like that. Really nice place to roast hot dogs. Beautiful place to watch the sunset for sure. Definitely good for swimming, particularly if it's warmer out. A lot of folks go for fishing. I've hung out with my friend and her dad, actually, who has a little boat he keeps up there. And been, huge. They can get like huge fish. And you can just buy your fishing license in town as well. So if you're the kind of person to catch and eat your own fish, great spot for it.
I don't think you can launch your boats from the campground, though. Because I remember we had people, and they're like, why? And they're like, we don't want to drive all the way into town. But I'm pretty sure you have to do your boat launches from the town.
Yeah. The reason, I actually asked an interpreter this. Interpreters are great. They have it's very shallow out there because, of course, they're natural sand dunes, and it's not through lack of trying. They've definitely tried to build boat launches there, but it's just physically impossible. So they can't. So for my part, I really enjoy the beach, but that's what I do in the afternoons. In the morning, I tend to go for a bird walk. I go to the interpretive center. I can essentially do my birding shtick, and then I go up Martin Mountain. Let's see, do I have a photograph of that? Yes, this is the view from the top of Martin Mountain. So
I did not know there were mountains there, and I've been there.
Yeah, I think it's one of the furthest eastern points of the foothills of the Rockies. It's kind of this abnormality, this large hill. It's called Martin Mountain. Martin as in
mountain.
Yes, Martin, and also Martin as in the animal, not a man's name. Martin, like the weasel.
Pine Martin.
Yeah, exactly. So what you can do is you drive just down the road from the campground. It's between the campground and the interpreter center, which you also haven't been to, so it's not a very good landmark. And so you can just turn to your left, and then you have to actually, if you're taking an RV or a trailer, you actually have to leave at the bottom of the hill because the hill's quite steep. But you can drive up this hill, and you get to the site of a little parking lot and a fire tower. So I guess that road was initially built for people watching for fire. And I've actually seen them launch small planes from up there, or you could hear the radio going sometimes from the tower, which is fun. And so there's this beautiful viewpoint at the top of it overlooking the lake, and then there's a hiking trail. But the interesting thing is you hike down the mountain from the top of it down the other side to a place called Lily Lake. I think that's the next picture I have here. Actually, no, it's not. This is also the top of the hill. This is an area that was burned a few years ago, so you can see some of that landscape there. But it's really interesting. I think I have another picture of a burnt tree here. Yes, this one had some unusual fungus on it. So you get these lovely contrasts. So if you really love the details of this area, it's really great. Also, that first section of the trail, FYI, really good for berry picking. And because it's not a national park, it's provincial park. You can eat them. Yes. So I actually asked the interpreter again what the exact policy was on berry picking, and so there are limits. The idea is you can pick enough to make a pie for yourself and make a pie for a friend. Make a pie for yourself, but not enough to make a pie for your friend as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of just munch while you're walking, but don't sit there and clean off a bush.
Yeah, don't take buckets and buckets and sell them down the road. is what, yeah. So, but you can get wild raspberries, wild strawberries, like the size of my like pinky fingernail, but they're like as much flavor as a full size one. Oh my god. Gooseberries, little wild dwarf blueberries and things like that. Oh, and they're all like,
eat everything.
They're all just growing one thing. So like mid-August, totally go for berry picking. Amazing. So you hike down this mountain, and then further down there is this. This is Lily Lake. I actually saw someone apparently driving a boat all the way along the trail to get there, which is cool. There's a lot of like, little bridges that go across streams on your way down, lots of beautiful birds. You can use this as a skinny dipping hole or just like a swimming hole if you bring your swimsuit and things.
It looks good for canoeing.
Yeah, it's a relatively small lake, especially compared to like Lesser Slave Lake around the corner. But beautiful area for like a stop and a picnic, you know. Again, allow for like a third more time going back up the hill because you're like, oh, this is such a pleasant walk, blah, blah, blah. You're going down the hill and then you go back up and you're like, wait a minute, you know. Although I was really out of breath the first time I went like 3 years ago, and then I went this past summer and I didn't really feel it at all, and I'm like, I must be getting in shape. Great. Anyway, let's continue. What else do I have here?
Also, for comparison, there is a Greater Slave Lake. For anyone who wonders why this is called Lesser Slave Lake, where's Greater Slave Lake?
Much further north.
Yes, I think it's in
the Territories.
Yeah, Northwest Territories, and it's massive.
It looks like a bird, doesn't it? From the sky?
Looking on our map. Yes, it does.
There you go. Just like
pro tip. Wall map on the other side of it.
Pro tip. I always like to think of when I interpret or talk about the history of the fur trade to people. I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, so the Hudson's Bay Company, they were originally based out of Hudson's Bay, also known as the giant beaver-shaped body of water in the middle of our country. And then people are like, what? It is beaver-shaped. Anyway, we have a James Bay is like the tail, and anyway.
Oh yes.
Okay. Anyway, really, I love Lesser Slave Lake. I think it's this amazing hidden gem. It's one of the few places I find that I can really recharge. I mean, normally when I'm on holiday, I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta visit this museum in the morning, this museum in the afternoon, you know, hit up all these places.
From your holiday.
That's the thing. But because I've been to Lesser Slave Lake a couple times now, and I've been on the trails and things like that, it's one of the few places I feel like I can just like flop down. Like, I'm not really a big fan of what they call fly and flop holidays, where you fly to a destination and flop on the beach. I'm like, but why wouldn't you enjoy the rest of Costa Rica or whatever, right? So I really enjoy hanging out on the beach, but not for like long periods of time. So what I really love about Lesser Slave Lake is I can get up early in the morning. I can go, you know, enjoy my campfire breakfast. I can go bird watching. I can go, you know, more information at the Interpretive Center. Go for a short hike, you know, a couple hours hike down to up Martin Mountain, down to Lily Lake and back. And then I can go have an amazing lunch on the beach, and then just like relax, read a book, keep my binoculars close so you can still see amazing birds from the beach, and just like, and then you can just hang out with friends for the afternoon. And I find it's a really good combination. Catch an interpretive tour. There's like, they run interpretive programs pretty much every day. I've been in a couple of their interpretive hikes and they're fantastic. Their interpreters are super enthusiastic, which I think is one of the best things you need in interpretation from my professional opinion. You know, if you have the passion for the subject, like that will shine through, and it will interest your audience and things. But, yeah, just Lesser Slave Lake, like, get yourselves up there. You can reserve, it's a provincial park, so you can use their really new slick online reservation system. It's pretty easy to use once you have an account. And, you know, bird watch, hang out on the beach. It's fun times. Mm-hmm.
If you are going to go camping, I would kind of avoid the big long weekends, because literally every campsite will be full. And while I didn't notice it that much when we were there, like it didn't feel crowded,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it would be a better experience if you weren't like literally people everywhere.
Yeah, I think, and by literally people everywhere, it's not like the same standards as like Banff, literally people everywhere, where you're just like crowded. But definitely I take your point. Like for myself, because I work every single weekend in the summertime, I never visit on weekends. So I'm always there on like a Tuesday afternoon, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's never really been an issue for me. So like, again, guys, like don't just do during the week, like, you know, take a day off before or after your weekend and pair that up or something like that. And I find that's a really good way to avoid some of the crowds. Good point, though.
Yes. Plus, it's a really easy drive.
Oh, it's a beautiful drive. Beautiful.
Yes. And you can hit up along the North Athabasca River or North Saskatchewan. Which one goes through Athabasca?
Athabasca.
Well,
The Athabasca River runs through the town of Athabasca.
I know, but I didn't, because it's kind of like northeast-ish. So the North Saskatchewan could also run through it.
We do cross the Athabasca heading towards, let's just say, like more like half an hour away.
Yeah, so both
That's the one.
rivers.
What? Shoot, I gotta double check this now. I thought I knew No, I don't. I don't know. Okay, one story to share. So the reason I actually discovered Lesser Slave Lake in the first place was because a friend of mine used to go there all the time as a kid. They camped all the time, and then her parents bought this cabin up there, in a little community up there. Really, really nice cabin. They've been really working on it. But one of her traditional games in the car was the Spot the Game game.
I love Spot the Game game.
It's an amazing game. And so what you do is you essentially assign points to game that you spot. So that's things like, deer, moose, elk, that kind of thing. Bear counts. Birds do insofar as ones you can eat kind of thing. So if you spot a grouse, sure. That kind of thing. So it's not just every
bird.
Cool
not
birds.
Every second magpie.
Cool
but
birds.
Hawks, owls.
Yeah. And then you can just assign points arbitrarily, keep track, but you have to make sure someone else in the vehicle also spotted it or doesn't count. So, yeah, Spot the Game, and I'm told that the tradition in her family is you win the Spot the Game for life if, when we're crossing the Athabasca on the bridge, if you look out and see a bear on a raft floating in the Athabasca, then you win for life. No one's yet won for life yet, but people always look.
No. I won on our last trip, though.
All right, well, Lesser Slave Lake. Yeah. Bears. Spot the game.
Yeah, so that is our little side trip into northern Alberta. Yeah, it's a really good day trip from Edmonton if you are in the area. And I hope you guys liked it. And we'll have Lauren for some more videos because she's done a lot of traveling.
I enjoy it.
So yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.